T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would have him.
You are all my children now.
This is as far as you go. No more.
Hello, Sydney. Are you God damn me.
Wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
Ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today it's Sunday. It's the Sunday Horror Hangout. What's going on, good people? Always glad to see all of you here. I'll get to the chat in a minute. Mad Matt might be a little bit late tonight, but I am here for Sunday Horror Hangout to hang out with you fine people. I want to talk about Welcome to Derry tonight. I do want to talk about that. I tried to do a trailer reaction. I filmed it. The file got corrupt. I wasn't going to refilm it because I'd already seen the trailer. It just seemed like, well, this one got away from me, right? I always like to do the trailer reactions at, legit freaking reactions. And I didn't want to refilm it. So I was like, you know what? This one got away from me. We'll let this one get away. Let's see who we have in the chat for tonight, and we will get started. Let's see. I see that we've got Jerry Wilson in the chat saying, hello, Michael. What is up, Jerry? I hope you're doing well. My friend, I did see on Instagram, Jerry, you were on a trip, or you have recently went on a trip. I hope that you had a great time, my friend. Always good to see you here. Jerry's telling everybody to hit that like button, and he's providing the link for the merch. If you would like any Movies and Beyond merch, you can go to that link that Jerry has provided right there, and you can get your merch. You can get your Movies and Beyond shirts or hats or whatever's all on there. There's tons of stuff on there. I mean, bags, like apron, all kinds of shit. Go check it out. Go check it out. I see Shira's in the chat saying hello or saying hi. What's up, Shira? I see that the general is in the chat. The general always gets a salute from Movies and Beyond. What's up, Val? I hope you're doing well, my friend. And right below that, I see a green marker, and it is Val hitting her 15 months at Movies and Beyond, saying congratulations on 13.2K, Michael. It's been amazing watching this channel grow. Love my Movies and Beyond family. That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. Val, congratulations on 15 months as a channel member. And thank you for the support. Thank you so much for the support and everything that you do for the channel. 13,000 subscribers. Absolutely crazy. I wouldn't think that 13,000 people would care what I had to say. But it is humbling. It is definitely nice to see. It is nice to see that the channel is growing. So that's super cool. Like I'm really happy with that. And congratulations again on 15 months, Val. I see that Gina is in the chat saying, hello, everyone. Time to party. It is Sunday night. And most people, now, if you are not included in what I'm about to say, I do apologize because I know how that feels. But most people do not have to work tomorrow. So it's cool. It is cool. It is a cool Sunday night. Nobody's having to get up super early. Again, if you do have to work tomorrow, I do apologize. But happy Memorial Day, everyone. It is. I always get Memorial Day and Labor Day confused. I think it is Memorial Day. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I see that the shape is in the chat. James is in the chat saying, hi, everybody. What's up, James? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to see you here, brother. Always good to see you here, my man. Let's see. Who else do we have in the chat? I see that Paula is in the chat saying hi to everyone. What's up, Paula? What is going on? What is this? Hang on 1 second here. 1 second. Oh, that's weird. That was weird. Anyway, what's going on, Paula? I hope you are having a great day. Always good to see you here. Michael is in the chat as well. Michael G is in the chat saying, hello, friends. Grab a beer and let's go crazy. I got water tonight. I do. I got my water bottle here. No beer for Michael tonight, but definitely feel free to partake. Feel free to partake. Let's see. Who else do we have in the chat? I see that Melissa the Wild Card is in the chat saying, hey, Michael, Val, James. What's up, Melissa? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to see you here. Talk to the Mic is in the chat as well, saying hello, everyone. Been a while. It's been a busy few weeks, but I'm here. What's up, my man? I hope you're doing well. I hope your films are coming along well, man. Still send me a message. Let me know how those are going. I'm looking forward to checking your stuff out. Always good to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. Jeff D'Angelo is in the chat as well, saying, hey, everybody. Happy Horror Sunday and happy Memorial Day. Kaylee and I are here. What's up, guys? What's up, Kaylee? I hope that you are doing well. Let's see. See, I always like to see the Thug Lives. I'm sorry. I have to throw that up there. Always good to see those. Let's see. Did I get everybody? If I missed you. Oh, I see Kyle is in the chat as well saying, hi, everyone. What's up, Michael and Matt? Yeah, hopefully Matt will be here a little later. Hopefully so. But what's up, Kyle? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to see you here. Always good to see you here. See that Michelle is in the chat as well saying, hey, everyone, I'm getting over the flu. It was a rough one. We have family stuff going on for Memorial Day weekend, so I won't be on too long. Hey, that's cool. That is cool. But it's always good to see you here. I'm happy that you made it. Really happy that you made it. And I hope you're feeling better. I see people messing with me about the Memorial Day weekend. Yes, it's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day. I see it. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Talking to Mike saying it's not a holiday here in Montreal, but I don't work. So, like I mentioned, early screening, bring her back. That's cool. That is cool. I see that Breezy is in the chat saying my favorite horror channel right here at the moment. Man, that means a lot. Thank you so much for saying that. That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. All right. I think that I got through everyone. If I missed you, I do apologize. I go through these, the best of my ability. I I do go through these, but I get wrapped up sometimes. If I did miss you, go ahead and throw up a chat here, and I will definitely make sure that that I say what's up for sure. So full disclosure, with I didn't do horror talk and coffee this week because I'm having internet issues again. Spectrum will be out later this week again. So hopefully the stream holds together, and hopefully it doesn't get all crazy. But one of the things that I definitely wanted to talk about tonight, as you saw by the thumbnail, with me missing or at least not putting the trailer reaction up, and a lot of people being the It fans that you are, I definitely wanted to talk about the Welcome to Derry trailer. So hopefully everybody in the chat has seen Welcome to Derry trailer. They were able to check that out. If you haven't, you should probably check that out for sure, especially if you're a fan of It, Stephen King's story, whether it be the original or whether it be the 2017. And what was the other one? Was it 2019? Oh, the one I'm talking about, right? This one follows the later one, of course. It has to do with that version of Pennywise. So this trailer, watching this trailer, I hate to say it this way, but it seems like, all right. So I want to word this carefully because I don't want anyone to think that I don't want to check this out. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm not grateful that this show is coming out, because I am. But with that being said, it looks very much like the first It, the 2017 It, very much. So going through the trailer, there was a lot of similarities. If you guys remember when Bev was looking down the drain in the original, they have that again. It just seems like it's very similar to the first It. Now, that can be either good or bad, right? That could be good in the fact that you're getting more of what you liked, and for those people, like, very happy for you. Or it could also seem a little redundant, like, okay, I was hoping to get something a little different, I was hoping to get something new, and at that point, it's just like, okay, like, what are we doing here? But then again, I don't want to jump the gun here because it just is a trailer, right? So it's just a trailer. So I don't want to make too many assumptions and say, okay, well, it's going to be this way and now I'm not going to like it, or it's going to be this way and I'm going to love it, So I was happy with the trailer overall. Again, noticed a lot of things that were very similar to the 2017. So again, if you were a big fan of It 2017, I hope that it's exactly what you want. But unfortunately for me, it was just kind of like, okay, this is so familiar that I feel like I've seen this already. And hopefully I'm wrong, right? Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully we get something, that both sides of the coin are represented. If that makes sense. So I don't want to put too much into the trailer and to go, too far in depth to either say it's going to be amazing or, doom and gloom with it, because it is just a trailer. And will I be watching it day one? Of course I will. Let's not pretend that I'm not gonna be there, day one, to check that out, because at the end of the day, I am a big fan, of the movie It. Now, 2017 It, yes, I did really enjoy that one. Now, the sequel, like, it happened, it was there. But I also remember that from the original too. Like, I really liked the first half better than I liked the second half. So they had that in common for me. I was way bigger fan of the original, like the first episode, either one, 2017 or the original, than I was the second part. And yeah, I mean, that they had that in common, for sure. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. James is saying, Michael, thank you for your service. Well, you're welcome, James. Thank you for saying that. Thank you, buddy. He's also saying Spectrum sucks. They're horrible. Yeah, I mean, I've never had this many issues with them as I'm currently having. And that's, you know, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Melissa saying, nope, don't like it. Oh, so Melissa, you are not a fan of it. You are not a fan of it. All right. I gotcha. Paula said, I like the 2017 movie. Okay. Yeah. I was, Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise. I kind of had it built up in my mind that, like, no, Tim Curry is Pennywise. This is gonna be tough. And I'll say one thing, despite the fact that the movie had a ton of CGI, which is fine, it's okay. I think that Bill Skarsgård, he did a great job of making the character his own. He wasn't trying to be Tim Curry. He wasn't trying to duplicate a performance. He kind of did his own thing with it, and I think that he did really well. So I will agree with you, Paula. I did like the 2017 version of it, but I liked both of them. And it would be hard to say. I would say I would be partial to the original with Tim Curry, but that doesn't mean that I didn't love the 2017 version for sure. Talk to the mic saying, I hope it's good. I was a fan of the movie classics and remake, also the books. I hope they do it justice. But the trailer seems like a lot of rehashed parts of the movie. It does seem like that. It does. When it really started to hit me in the trailer, I've watched the trailer 2 times at this point. I watched it when I was going to do the reaction to it, and I watched it right before I went live tonight to be fresh with it. And what the first time it hit me, and I said this on the reaction video, was when she was looking down the drain in the girl. I don't know her name yet. I don't think that any of the names have been disclosed. But the girl was looking down the bathtub drain, and she could hear the voices down there. Which you could take either way as being, well, yeah, but that's kind of what Pennywise does. You know what I mean? So it's like, did they rehash it, or is this just kind of like a trend of Pennywise? Because I did hear that if this goes well, that they're going to go back. What is it? Every 27 years that he shows up? I want to say it's 27 years. I know the chat will correct me if I'm wrong about that. So from what I understand, like, they're going to go back even further if this show does well, and they want to continue it. So again, that's just people talking. I don't know if that has been verified. I can't give you a reference. I'd have to look it up to see. But if they do go back another 27 years, I'd be curious to see that version, because this one taking place in 1962, I feel like it's very kind of being done again. It's kind of being done again from both the original It and the 2017. I can't remember what year the 2017 one took place. I don't think it was the 60s, but the original one was. Michelle is saying the trailer wasn't that exciting. I would have to agree with you. It was a little, I hate to use the word nostalgic because it wasn't that long ago. But it did give me, some good feeling of, this is Derry. I'm familiar with this setting. I'm happy to see this. But other than that, it didn't have a lot of exciting moments in the trailer for sure. A lot of questions came out of it. Some of the characters, it's like, who is that? Who is this person? But I do agree with you that it wasn't. Michelle said the book and the original were the best. The original was really good. I would say that the original would be my favorite. Unfortunately, I have never read the book. It is something that I've always wanted to do. And it's something that I always said I was going to do, but unfortunately, I have not done that yet. So that's in the cards for me. I am going to read the book, and I am looking forward to doing so. James said I was never a big fan of it. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it's not for everyone, right? It's not for everyone. Paula is saying I've never read the book. Yeah, I've never read the book either, Paula. James is saying Stephen King books are too long to read. My sister likes his stuff. Okay. All right. I like to do the audiobooks with the longer books. Gina's saying I like the original Tim Curry clown. He's terrifying without the effects. Look, Tim Curry's facial expressions alone were horrifying. I mean, literally horrifying. There's one scene in particular where he's smiling, and then the camera pans away and it's back to him, and he has this look on his face, and that has stuck with me so much. He was fantastic as Pennywise. I agree. Val is saying, love the OG, not a fan of the remake, and kind of meh about this series. I got you. I'm looking forward to it because so far the horror series that we've gotten, you look at Chucky. Now I can't speak for the Scream franchise, the show. I didn't watch that. Bates Motel, Hannibal, all of those things I've really enjoyed. Did I say Chucky? I don't remember if I said Chucky or not, but I did enjoy like the first couple seasons of that. So I'm curious to see what they're doing, what they're going to do with it, and I hope it's good. Michael G is saying, I loved it part 1 and part 2 and the original. That's freaking awesome, though, man. That is freaking awesome. So you're definitely looking forward to the show. Paula says, I love the trailer and cast for the show. Hell yeah. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to check it out. Let me know in the chat, you guys. I'm getting a ton of lag notifications in my stream. Let me know if it's lagging on your guys' end, because this is the lag is so bad on my screen right now. So let me know if that's transferring over, because this is probably the worst it's ever been for me, unfortunately. Jeff is saying remake was good, but nothing will beat the OG. I would definitely agree with that. For sure. That's probably the best way to say it, man. I really did like the 2017 movie, but to me, it's not gonna beat. It's not gonna beat the original. It's not. Paula is saying the chat is not the stream, Michael. Okay, so the chat is lagging, like me talking, or the actual chat. Let me know. Kyle is saying Tim Curry's It is the best. The scene that always stuck with me was when the one guy was in jail and he sees Pennywise when he looks at the moon. That was crazy too. That was definitely crazy too. It was definitely good. DJ Plays Favorites is in the chat. He's saying hello. What's up, DJ? I hope you're doing well, my friend. James is saying, I did see the second one sooner or later. I will watch the first one. It sounds like it's better. Oh, okay. So you watched the remake, but you didn't watch the original, James. Yeah, you should check out the original, my friend. You should definitely check it out for sure. I think you'll enjoy it. I think that we will freaking enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's when I was a kid and I didn't like clowns, that solidified clowns for me. Like literally, like I didn't like clowns as a little kid, but it wasn't out yet. But when it did come out and I was a little older when it did, it just made it worse. It didn't do anything for that. I remember going to the circus as a kid, and the clowns would come down the walkways and everything, and they would totally freak me out. And then this didn't do anything for it. When you get older and you start to get over certain fears, this didn't help it for clowns. But looking at this trailer and everything that I've seen with it, at the end of the day, I do want to see it, but nothing in the trailer really wowed me. Like nothing really, jumped up to say, oh yeah, like you have to go see this right now. Like you have to, it has to happen right now. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna base everything on, seeing the trailer. I'm just not. Like I feel like, I don't know. I think I want it to be good. So much, in fact, that it's probably clouded my judgment a little bit. You know how there are people, and I'm guilty of it. I think that anyone that's a fan of anything could be somewhat guilty of this, is looking at something that really isn't that great and making it better than what it really is, right? So I think with this, that the trailer itself, if I'm being honest with myself and being honest with you guys, it did nothing to wow me. It looked very similar to what we've seen already. But I don't know. More to come. More to come with that, because I can't. I don't know. God, I want this to be good, you guys. I want it to be good, but I can't let it cloud my opinion of what I'm seeing. I just can't. Oh, let's see here. James is saying, I never like clowns. They always give me cold chills down my spine. I don't think that. I think the whole thing with clowns and what it is with that is the fact that it's like a mask. They have, whether they're frowning, whether they're mad, whether they're happy, whether they're laughing, they always have a smile on their face. It could be mad, it could be sad, but there's always that smile. And I think that that's kind of what it was for me, for sure. Like, I get that, James. I do. Jerry Wilson throws a $2 super chat and he says, hashtag thug life. Dude, that's a great super chat, my man. That is definitely a great super chat. And I see that you put the emojis into, and unfortunately on StreamYard, I can't see them. And that's one of the gaps that YouTube has with StreamYard. StreamYard is definitely, I'm not too happy with it. It does have a new feature on it, though, that I am curious to check out. And if I click it, I just want to see what this looks like. Okay, I just click this button. When you guys chat, it's supposed to come up on my screen now. I wonder if how that's gonna work. I'm gonna leave it on for a minute to see if it. Oh my God, it does. We'll leave that on for a few minutes. Let's see if that doesn't get too annoying. But if it doesn't, I'll leave it on for sure. James is saying they're just too damn ugly looking. Too damn ugly look. I got you. Melissa says, Art is the only clown that doesn't scare me. Interesting. So he's the most brutal too. Like, you know what I mean? Like Art and Pennywise are not the same thing. I mean, they're both in the clown family. I wonder because I never saw a clown in a cornfield. I'm wondering if that slasher clown is worthy of being in a conversation, because I haven't seen it yet. Paula says, I never saw that one. All right. Are you talking about Terrifier, Paula? Is that what you're saying that you haven't seen yet? Definitely a good clown killer deal. I mean, very gory. But I mean, I get it. From what I hear, they're making a fourth Terrifier, so that's in the works. So it looks like Terrifier 4 will be coming as well. Hey, people are eating it up. People love it. Why not keep making them, right? Why not keep making them? I saw an interview with Damien Leone where he was talking about, I think someone brought up the fact that Art is now a horror icon. And he was just like, no, he's like, not yet. He's like, I appreciate it, but let's see, where we're at in a certain amount of time. For the simple fact that one of the things with, the horror icons is they have to, the duration is part of them, what making them the icon. So I am curious to see what Terrifier does look like in about 10, 15 years, to see what they're still doing with that. I'm definitely curious to see. James is saying, I do like Art. He's a slasher. That's the only reason why I like him. And it's funny because when you do look at, my channel is for all horror, right? Whether it's slashers, whether it's elevated, whether it's paranormal. I guess paranormal and elevated could kind of go hand in hand in some instances. But, this is a place for everyone, no matter what type of horror you like. We try to talk about it. Me, I am partial to the slashers as well. I am very partial to the slashers, and I think that it's because of the age, that my age and when I grew up and what was popular during that time. And it was slashers. Like, don't get me wrong, we still had a lot of different stuff, because you can look at stuff like Poltergeist, you can look at stuff like, the Lost Boys, stuff like that. But primarily it was like the golden age of slashers. I think I've heard someone refer to it as that, and I don't remember where I heard it from, but that sounds about right. Late 70s through the early to mid 80s was kind of like the slasher golden age, and that was the time of my life to where it was just like you stayed up as a kid watching these horror movies because they were freaking awesome, and you felt like you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. I think that had a part of it too. That was a part of it too, but it just felt like, I don't know. I absolutely love slashers too. I get it. Lydia's saying, "Heidi ho, officers. Matt's on his way. Last time I let him in charge of the alarm clock." Fair. Kyle says, "I think there will be a lot more Terrifier movies, which is much like the Saw movies." And dude, I would agree with you 100% with that. I would. And it's funny when you think about Terrifier and Saw, they're very close in the gore, right? It's they're very close in that nature. I think that if you're a Saw fan, you're probably, I wouldn't say automatically, but I think that if you are a big Saw fan, I think you would be, a decent Terrifier fan as well. I think that they kind of fall along the same lines, for sure. Michael G is saying, "I have to admit that Art the Clown scares me just by his brutal kills, especially sawing that girl in half in the first one. Every time I saw that, it made my man parts hurt." Dude, it's almost like, every Terrifier movie has that one kill, right? In the first one, it was what you're talking about. He saw his girl in half. In the second one, when he was in the house and, he had that girl and he thought she was dead on the bed and she looked over and she was still alive and he's just cutting it. Like, that was crazy. And then, of course, you have the Saw the guy in half in the third one. That if you've seen it, it was just like, I remember when we went to see that movie, there were a bunch of us in the theater and we were just all looking at each other like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening right now. I cannot believe that this is happening. So each one of the Terrifier movies, they have that kill, that memorable kill that you're going to talk about afterwards for sure. Gina's saying, "Clown in the Cornfield is not exactly the same type of movie, so they will not be able to compare." Yeah, for me, I'm just looking at, the clown aspect of it, right? So like I wouldn't compare Terrifier to Pennywise either. They're two totally different animals, I guess you would say. They're not anywhere near. No, they're just not. And I am curious to see Clown in the Cornfield, and I will check it out eventually. I will get to it, and maybe that'll shed a little more light, for me on understanding, more of what you're saying with that. From the trailer, that's really all I can go by with it, is just, the fact that it looks like a slasher, right? So I'm sure there's more to it. I hope there's more to it than what you see in the trailer, but hopefully. Let's see. James says Saw rocks. Saw is good. I really like Saw 2 as well. It's not just the first one. I really like the second one. I own every single Saw movie, but they're not ones that I go back and watch often. I really like Saw X as well. Lydia says Crack Attack. That's exactly what I was talking about. You already know. I mean, I could have just yelled that, and I'm sure that the people who saw the movie, who saw Terrifier 3, would be like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about." James is saying the chainsaw kills were truly gory. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, that's something that Terrifier pulls no punches with. They are not afraid to go there for sure. So another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, it's something I didn't know until today, but it looks like Blumhouse is remaking My Bloody Valentine. So this will be a second reboot to the original. If you guys remember, Jensen Ackles did My Bloody Valentine. I think it was like 2009-ish, maybe 2010, somewhere around there. They did the remake for My Bloody Valentine. Well, it looks like Blumhouse has got their hands on this, and there will be another My Bloody Valentine. Now, for me, I'm a big fan of the original My Bloody Valentine. The one with Jensen Ackles was, I mean, it was all right. It wasn't anything special to me, but the original, I was a huge fan of the original My Bloody Valentine. So I feel kind of indifferent right now on what they're going to do with this and how it's going to go, and what they plan on doing with it. Is it going to be kind of like a Halloween 2018 deal where they connect it to the original? Is it going to be something that they redo on their own? What are they going to do with it? That's where I'm curious for it. And there's not a whole lot of information out on it right now. There is an article in Bloody Disgusting where they do talk about, My Bloody Valentine, and Blumhouse is, acquired it. So how do you guys feel about a remake of My Bloody Valentine? And not only how do you feel about it, what would you want to see from it? Would you guys want it to be a standalone to where they just, retell a story in their own like Blumhouse way? Or is this something that you guys would like to see, like a continuation of the first one, of the original, like they did with Halloween and like they did with The Exorcist? Is that something that you guys would like to see? Would you like to see it done that way? I'm curious. I'm kind of torn. I kind of think that I would want them to continue off the original. And I know that it's a cheap grab, for money. I do realize that. But I don't know. I think that if I had a choice, that's what I would want to see out of it. I would want to see a continuation from the OG. Let's see what we got here. Lydia says, y'all ever get the chance to meet the guy from the shower scene in Terrifier 3? Please do. He's absolutely hysterical. That's awesome. James is saying, awesome. Love My Bloody Valentine. Like I said, man, I am a huge fan of the original. The original is, and you know what? If you haven't seen it, the original, if you get the extended cut, it's even better. The extended cut of My Bloody Valentine, it's even better than the original. It's really good. It's really good. I don't know the amount of extra footage that's in it and the amount of extra time that's in it, but it did seem way longer. And I really enjoyed it. That's the most recent one that I've watched, was the extended cut. And it was great. It was really great. Michael said, I don't want to see a sequel. Not a remake. So you do want to see a sequel and not a remake, or you don't want to see a sequel but you do want a remake? Clear that up for me, Michael. Or do you not want to see either of them? Do you not? I don't want a sequel or a remake. I don't want them to do it. All right, I don't want them to touch it. Leave it alone. You guys tried already. Now stop it. All right, think of your own stuff. Make some new stuff. I'm tired of watching the same old stuff that we've seen already. Just saying. No. I think that's freaking hilarious. So Michael's saying, see a sequel. Sorry. Okay, so you're kind of feeling the same way I'm feeling, Michael, with that. Like, yeah, I mean, if you remember in the original, spoiler alert, this only came out in 1981. It did kind of end where, it leaves it open to a possibility of more going on. So if you just go back to the original My Bloody Valentine and continue it there, kind of like you did Halloween 2018, would I watch it? Yes, I'm gonna watch it. If you made it a total reboot, am I gonna watch it? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean? But us being big horror fans is kind of what we do, right? Now you have to think about this from the general public, because that's how you're gonna sell a movie. You can't appease to only My Bloody Valentine fans. You put things in the movies for them, but you have to, at the end of the day, make a movie that appeals to the broad audience of general moviegoers, as opposed to, just the fans of the franchise. So, it is a balance game that they have to do with that. And I'm hoping they do well with it. I am, especially being a fan of My Bloody Valentine. I want to see it do well. And yeah, I'm just really curious to what everybody has to think about that, because I found that out earlier today. So I haven't really had a whole lot of time to reflect on it. Just more that I would probably like to see what they did, with Halloween 2018. Do it with My Bloody Valentine. I think that's their best bet. But again, what do I know? I'm just a guy in Ohio with a microphone. I don't know shit. They could do their own thing. They know better than I do, but I mean, I think I would be more interested in seeing it done that way, as opposed to, retelling the whole entire story again and us having to guess who the killer might be. And I don't know. I don't know. But either way, we're gonna have to guess who the killer is. That's kind of My Bloody Valentine's thing, right? They're the ones that kind of, put that together. It's kind of My Bloody Valentine, My Bloody Valentine's thing. It's kind of like a whodunit, for the most part. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be this time? I think I felt that way more with the remake, because I think, now granted, this is dating myself and going back a long time. I think the first time that I saw the original My Bloody Valentine, I thought that it was the guy. I forget his name. I do apologize. Promise I'm a fan of the movie. I did think it was the guy that had come back, and I didn't know that it was, one of the characters in the movie that was actually playing, the minor. So I think I was surprised by that. And then looking back on it, I feel like the remake, knowing what you knew from the first one, that you were going to have to guess, who did this. What was his name? Was it Harry Ward? Harry, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But I really thought that, the first time I saw the first My Bloody Valentine, that it was him. And it turns out, it was the guy there, as opposed to him coming back. So I don't know. I don't think you can really classify as a whodunit, but it kind of is. Once you realize that guy didn't come back, you got to figure it out, and they did that well with the remake, because they find out, no, that's not him. So now we're playing the guessing game on who it really is. And plus you kind of knew it was going to go that way from seeing it, the original. Lydia says Harry Warden. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Is that what I said? Did I get that right? Did I can't remember. I have old brain. So I'm going to tell you guys something that you, some of you may know, because you may be around my age. When you get old brain, you forget things that you've known for a very long time. They just go away. They're just gone. The day I forget Jason Voorhees' name is the day that Movies and Beyond dies. It's like, that one killer, that guy in that hockey mask that's in that movie, the Friday movie, that guy. The day I forget his name is the day I will say goodbye. Lydia said, you said Harry Ward, but close enough, unless I have bad ears and heard you wrong. I'll go with I was right, you were wrong. That's what we'll go with, but you're probably right, to be honest. Mad Matt from Mad Matt's Mask is in the building.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? Did you get some sleep?
I did. Apologies. I went a little over, but hey, man, I'm here.
And here you are.
What's up, you fine people? And Michael, I did just get to check out Welcome to Derry.
Right.
And yeah, let me know where we're at here, brother.
We talked about that a little bit earlier, but I would like to get your take on it. I kind of gave mine, and I'll give a little, once you go, I'll kind of give a little quick rehash of what I was thinking. But let's start with you, man. What did you think of Welcome to Derry trailer?
So it's awesome, because this was literally 30 seconds ago. I finished it. I looked over and I said, I thought it was badass. It just said, it felt like Pennywise. It felt like an original story to me. It had that good looking, vibe to it. I felt like we were in Derry, Yeah. And I've always wanted more of that sick, twisted Pennywise, man. So, and then that ending with, the laugh and getting a little bit of Skarsgård there. And I liked it, man. I liked it a lot.
The word that I used to describe that was familiar. Like it was very familiar. The trailer was. It seemed like I'm torn because for one, it's giving me more of what I know and what I like. On the other side, it's giving me things that I've seen before already. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of torn. Like I'm not gonna make any, sudden judgment about it because it is a trailer. But yes, it looks like what we've seen before. And if you are a fan of that, you are gonna be really happy with this. That's the way I feel based off the trailer. If you want something new and something fresh and something different, you might struggle with it a little bit, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm kind of in between at the moment. And it's one of those things that, like I said, yes, I'm going to watch it day one. Day one, I'm going to be there to watch it. I'll be sitting in front of my TV watching HBO Max for sure.
Yeah, it's just an exciting one, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very familiar from the mere fact that, you get the scene with like the girl looking down the drain, stuff like that. Things that we've seen before that kind of support like, well, I've seen this before already, but at the same time, it's like maybe that's his thing, like maybe he does that to everybody every time he comes back. That's just kind of his way of pulling people in. It's him in the sewer, it's him in the drains, doing the, hearing the voice and the laughing and stuff like that. So, I mean, you could look at it either way and say, well, it's either, same old, or that's just kind of what he does. It's like Michael hiding behind a bush. You know what I mean? In Halloween, you know you're gonna get Michael behind a bush. Well, maybe you're gonna get Pennywise in a drain. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, so you can look at it from both sides that way and say, hey, it's just kind of what he does. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, man, it felt like 2017 with feeling of the original time frame wise, right? So time frame wise, it went a lot more like the original It did, because that took place in the 60s, right? And when you look at the 2017 one, it felt more like that one. But time frame wise, it felt like the original. But yeah, man, I'm definitely excited for it. They didn't show hardly any of Pennywise. Like you got that far away shot at the end, him in the sewer, like you said, you get the laugh and everything to get you excited. I'm wondering if they did that on purpose. I'm wondering if they didn't show us, on purpose too much of Pennywise. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. I think they're trying to like kind of hide him from everyone, so you're not knowing what's going on, or
well, just how they did it. It was beautiful.
I will say this. I was expecting a close up of Skarsgård, like kind of letting the fans know for sure that he's back, and kind of getting like a boo or a smile or so, you know what I mean? Something like that at the end, to where it's a little cheesy, but it's just like, let's go ahead and confirm that Skarsgård will be.
No, I like how they did it.
Yeah. You like the way the trailer went and everything? You're good with that?
I do.
It raised a lot of questions too, and it was kind of hard to talk about when you weren't here, because I didn't really, I couldn't really bounce this off of anyone. But there were quite a few characters in that movie that made me a little curious. Like you already know, like the security guard and stuff that was behind the window, and the lady that was smiling behind the window. Okay, I get it. That's Pennywise, right? But if you notice the one guy that's sitting there with the family that looks like he's very like straight up and, emotionless and, not really showing, any type of like facial expressions, you kind of see him and it's just like, who is this character? What is his deal? And then you get a flash of him like holding his face, and it's just like,
yeah,
well, who the hell was that guy? Because he didn't have Pennywise characteristics. You know what I mean? But I'm very curious to know who that is. Very curious.
Yeah.
And what's his deal? What's his deal? But getting off of Welcome to Derry, we were just talking. So Blumhouse, if you didn't know, Blumhouse is remaking My Bloody Valentine. So they are doing that. And with Blumhouse, we kind of know how that goes. You look at Halloween 2018, it continued the original. You look at The Exorcist, Believer. It was Believer was the last one, right?
Yeah.
That had ties to the original Exorcist. And this is one of the questions I asked the chat, and I'll ask you the same question. Would you rather this be its own standalone My Bloody Valentine, or would you like to see Blumhouse continue from the original and kind of do what they did with Halloween and The Exorcist? Because that's something I'm kind of juggling. I think that for me, I'd rather see them continue the original and kind of do something like that, because it's kind of what they do. But what would you like to see?
That is a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I'd probably like to see something different.
Something brand new, and
probably something brand new, Michael.
Yeah.
And see what, because Blumhouse, they can do some killer stuff.
Oh yeah.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. But I don't know if a continuation with where My Bloody Valentine's been, headed is the answer. I think they should show their skills by, adding a little depth to My Bloody Valentine for sure. I like to see them do something new, man.
You like to see something new? Oh yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right, it's me towing the line, man. But like I said, I am leaning towards them doing something with the original and that. But like I was saying right before you came on, you have to be kind of careful when you do that, because Halloween alone, right? You have tons of Halloween fans. My Bloody Valentine is not as big as The Exorcist or as Halloween was. It has its fans. Believe me, I know. I'm one of them, right? But I don't think that you have the recognition with a movie like that. So if you're going to do a continuation, how many casual horror fans are you going to have to tell? Well, you might want to go back and watch the 1981 version before you come in and watch this one. The casual horror fan's going to be like, oh, what the fuck? I got homework to do. Like, I got to go back and watch this movie that I've never seen before to understand this one. So I can see both sides of it. Now, the My Bloody Valentine fan in me is like, continue the first one, make it freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But, for a broad audience, it's almost like I feel, talking my way through it with you right now, I feel like that might be the better way to go, is to do something entirely new.
I agree.
I think that is for sure. And something I definitely wanted to talk to you about on this show tonight, Matt, because it is, I've explained myself in length.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think that, what do you think of the new Jason Voorhees? Where are you with that?
Oh, I'm struggling. I'm right there with you guys. I'm struggling, man. It just doesn't say Jason Voorhees, does it? It doesn't get you excited to go revisit Crystal Lake, man. It looks like it's like a cheap imitation for, maybe some game version of Jason they're trying to come out with, but not on board, Michael. Not on board. But at the same time, I don't know where I'm wanting to go with Jason, because at the same time, I don't want to just say no. I want to say, yeah, but it should have this. He should have this. I don't know if I have the answer right now. Have you thought about that? You're not a fan. What should they do?
All right. So this is what I'm telling myself, right? This is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this is a sketch. They're going to use it for, I don't know, a damn picture. because the reviews coming out, like I've not yet heard one person come up and say this is badass whatsoever. And what type of movie introduces the killer and what the killer looks like before they've even made the movie? Like, what are you doing with that? Like, it's almost like, why? Like, this isn't making any sense to me. So there's no way, right? Like, there's no way that they can be doing that. They're not. You can tell the fan in me that just wants to be like, that refuses to believe that this is it. You know what I mean? Like, I refuse to say that this is what my guy's going to look like moving forward. I refuse to believe that Jason Voorhees isn't going to look badass. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough, man. Like, this is super tough for sure. Like, it is. I don't know. But on the positive side, there is a lot of with the article that came out with that. They're talking about, and they did mention it. I don't know if anyone on here is a fan of Friday the 13th, the game, but it looks like that may be coming back. So if you are a fan of the Friday the 13th game, it does look like, not confirmed, saying this is actually happening, but through the things that they're saying, it might be happening. Friday the 13th game might be coming back. So if Jason Universe is giving us anything, at least it's giving us that. And for that, I am grateful for sure. I'm definitely grateful for that. I've spent hours on that game. Absolutely love that game. You get to chase people around as Jason, man. It's freaking awesome. I'm sorry. Bring that back. We'll do a Movies and Beyond game night where we all chase people around as Jason. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I mean, I think that would be freaking amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the look that we're going to get, Michael. I really don't.
I hope not. That's all I can say, Matt. I hope not. I mean, Greg Nicotero, he knows what he's doing, but it just feels like this is something that should be in a comic book and not. He's
supposed to know what he's doing, right?
You would hope. You would hope. But unfortunately, man, you're kind of stuck with, what we got. So I don't know. We'll see as time goes on where we could be. But Matt, something else I wanted to talk about tonight, something else I really wanted to talk about was Mad Matt's mask is going to be vending at Day of the Dead in Indianapolis.
We sure as hell will, Michael. And I'm stoked about it, buddy. I really am. I got to talk to you a little bit today. Hell, you're going. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Michael G, that's in the chat. I know him and Gina are going up there, man. And I'm just excited for new ground, Michael. New territory. See what's going on. And I think we both, know we could use a little bit of a getaway.
Yeah.
So especially if it's a horror convention, hell yeah. So. Yeah, we just got one table up there. We're going to keep it kind of small. Drive one vehicle down, load it up with some of the best collectibles we possibly can, and head down to Indianapolis.
I haven't been to Indianapolis since we did Horror Hound up there. Something else you were vending at.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to going. I'm looking forward to, like you said, the horror convention setting, to just spend a weekend away with like-minded folks talking about shit that I fucking love. It's not, I'm not going for, I have to meet this guest. I'm going to just have a good time. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
It's the best position to be in too.
Yeah.
Just chill. Yeah. Right on.
I think we have one more show before that weekend. And maybe what we can do is kind of just go through, that event. hopefully I have my internet fixed by then. So I'm having Spectrum come up to fix my internet again because I'm real choppy tonight, and it's unfortunate. But I'm getting a little annoyed with the internet performance that I'm getting right now. So hopefully I get that fixed by then. But when, before we go down there, we'll definitely have, the show beforehand, to where we'll go through like the event and, let everybody know that we're going to be down there and, all the stuff that they have going on down there, because I'm looking forward to it, man, because not only is it a horror setting and a horror event, it's on Friday the 13th. You know what I mean? Like, that is freaking amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. And there's quite a few Jasons going to be there up in there. So,
yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell
well,
yeah.
They got Derek Mears, Warrington Gillette, CJ Graham. I think that's who they have. And then they have the two
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder is going to be there. And I think that they have the kid Jason from Freddy versus Jason and the kid Jason from the remake.
Jason's feet.
Feet. They have Jason's feet from part 2.
Look, Jason's feet.
I'm sorry, but I'm not paying for that to be on my mask. It's almost like I want to do it to be funny, and have them put Jason's feet.
I almost want to do it to be funny on my Crystal Lake sign. It's like, look, I even got his feet. It's like, you think you got the Holy Grail? No, you don't. I got his feet.
It's like I have room on the mask, right? I have room on the mask here. It's I don't know. It's going to be a last minute decision on whether I get that one on there. But I am going to get the 2 kid versions of Jason on there. I don't have them. Because I've got Ari on there, right? And Ari, he was a kid version of Jason. So why not get the other 2 people that played the kid versions of Jason as well, and put them on the mask? And then the feet will be the big decision or not. It'll probably come down to a coin flip. Maybe I'll go live on a tablet, like put in a poll like, hey, I'm live here in Indianapolis. And here's a poll. Let the people vote.
Surely the feet aren't too expensive, I would hope.
$160.
Like that's going to be, I don't know.
$50 a foot.
I'm trying to think, what is the cheapest autograph? I'm trying to think.
Probably 40, more than likely. If I had to guess, it'd probably be $40. Even then, it's a coin flip. Like, man, do I want to spend $40? Do I never?
I'm thinking, do I want to spend 25?
Do I want to spend 10? And if you were to do a photo with that person, would you like kneel down by the feet?
Absolutely.
And take the picture and kind of like point at them?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the photo. There it is, right there. Jason's
out in front. Yep,
I'm telling you. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about Friday the 13th, part 2, where Jason walks across the street at the very beginning. That person who was wearing those shoes and those pants, they filmed the feet walking across the street to Alice's house, is going to be there signing. So it's just like, we're down to the feet. We are down to the feet. It's like, I got everybody on the mask, but I don't have the feet. It's like, well, then you ain't got that mask complete.
I'm excited to see what kind of vibe D. Snyder can bring, dude, to a convention.
Oh, he's at Horror Hound, right? He's
Horror
Hound.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
dude. Just when I think of Wild Men, like, he comes to mind.
Yeah, it's like
D. Snyder comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, Horror Hound. If we're moving up to Horror Hound, dude, I'm probably the most excited that Tobin Bell's going to be there from Saw. I think that's probably the one that made me say, "Oh shit."
That's very cool. That's very cool.
I'm gonna swing by there. Like, I'm definitely gonna go to that if Tobin Bell's gonna be there. Like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that's freaking amazing, man. That is freaking amazing. So we didn't get a whole bunch of Mad Matt on tonight, buddy, and I apologize for that, my man. You overslept today. It's all good, dude.
Okay, man.
I knew you was tired though, man. I saw that earlier today. I was like,
yeah, that's my apologies. But No, we'll be back with some really good stuff though to talk about, man. Too. Like that day, the Days of the Dead. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to have a blast, Michael. I really do.
Yeah, man, and I'd like to definitely do some movies and beyond stuff while I'm up there. I definitely want to film the convention for everyone. You know, I definitely want to do that. I'll put a video together. It's gonna be small, like, and that's probably what I like so much about it. Is it's gonna be it's done in a hotel. The conventions they usually do in the hotels are smaller venues. Hopefully, it's not packed to the gills, and we can actually, you know, have a good time in there. And we're not just, you know, froze up against, you know, people the entire time we're there. Now, I know that you would like that. It's, you know, being a vendor down there, that it's, you know, the more the merrier. But for someone like me running around through there, man, it's a tough way to go in a small area. So
for sure.
So we'll definitely see how it goes, man. And I am just excited. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this one, man. I think looking forward to the getaway more than anything else. But I couldn't think of a better place to get away to than a horror convention out of town, for sure.
I could not agree more.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Matt, if you just hang out for just a minute, we'll go ahead and wrap up. And if you hang out for a minute when this is over, I just want to talk to you for a quick sec. I am going to cut the show off tonight. The internet is horrible over here to where I can barely even see anything on my screen at this point. But we are going to go ahead and get out of here for tonight. Well, at least I'm going to go ahead and get out of here tonight. But tonight was fun, Matt. Definitely always good to have you on the show, brother. Always good to have you here, my man. And I'll talk to you backstage for just a minute when we get out of here. But did you have any Mad Matt stuff that you want to share before we got out of here for tonight?
Nope. For right now, we're good, man, on my end.
All right. Everybody, there will be some videos posted this week, so put on your notification bells and check out the channel. You guys will be getting some videos. And that's really all I have for tonight. Matt and I will be back in 2 weeks. I will be back Thursday for Horror Talk and Coffee, hopefully with my internet fixed. But that's all I have for tonight. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker. Hey.